According to the National Low Income Housing Coalition, a nonprofit organization that researches housing affordability, in its 2026 report, The Gap, a shortage of affordable homes, the United States has a shortage of more than 7.2 million affordable and available rental homes for extremely low income renters. Affordable housing means that people can pay for their rent without sacrificing other basic needs like food, health care, and transportation. Across the country, um, rising rents and limited housing supplies have made it harder for working families to stay stably housed. Affordable housing is relevant to all of us because it affects students, workers, and families in almost every community. I'm credible to talk about affordable housing because I recently researched housing and affordability reports to better understand the causes of this issue and possible solution. In this speech, I will argue why communities should build more affordable housing to help working families and reduce homelessness. First, I would like to explain the affordable housing problem in detail, and then I will explain or share with you some of the main causes of this problem, and then finally, I will end my speech by discussing solutions that communities and audience members can support. So, without further ado, let's get into this housing problem. The affordable housing crisis has made it difficult for many working families to find safe and stable homes they can actually afford. When too much um, when too much income goes towards rent, families face serious financial pressure and greater risk of homelessness. So, according to the National Low Income Housing Coalition, a nonprofit housing research organization, in 2026, and in their 2026 report, they found a national shortage of 7.2 million affordable and available rental homes for extremely low income renters. The report also found that only 35 affordable and available homes exist for every 100 extremely low income renters household. This is how the shortage is the this is how the shortage has become widespread. Researchers at the Urban Institute report in the American Affordability Tracker that since 2017, average earnings have gone up about 43% nationwide, while homes for sale prices have increased 81% and rents have increased 54%. This means housing costs are rising much faster than income for many households. As a result, working families are being pushed further away from their stable housing. So now that you all have heard about the housing problem, uh, now that you all heard about the housing problems, I want to share with you what causes it. The affordable housing crisis is caused by a combination of rising costs, lagging wages, and um, and housing policies that limit much new housing policies that limit much new housing can be built. So these factors work together to make affordable homes harder to find. The Urban Institute explains in the American Affordability Tracker that the cost of essential goods and services is rising farther in earnings. The tracker shows that the rent has gone up in homes and prices have increased sharply in recent years, leaving many families unable to keep up. This economic pressure is a major reason for the housing crisis and it's getting worse. According to the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation in 2026 report, land use regulations and the impact of housing in Canada has grown stricter. The regulations lead to higher housing costs and slower housing growth. The report also states that more restrictive rules reduce how many new homes are built in each year. The report also states that that the more restrictive rules reduce how many new homes are built each year. This supports the idea that zoning and permitting barriers can make housing less affordable. And now that I have talked about the causes of this issue, I want to tell you about the possible solutions. Communities can improve housing affordability by building more affordable homes, expanding rental assistance, and changing local rules that slow development. Audience members can also support housing nonprofits and speak up for better housing policies in their communities. Let's see. The Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation reports that relaxing zone rules can support more housing development, and that improving permitting processes can speed approval. These changes matter because they can increase housing supply and help communities build more homes people can afford. Policy reforms is one of the most important parts of the solution. The Urban Institute explains that the American Affordability Tracker is designed not to only to show affordability crisis, but also to support evidence based on action by local, state, and federal leaders. This means communities can use data to shape better housing policies and practical solutions. People in the audience can take their part by supporting housing efforts, attending city meetings, and voting for policies that increase affordability. Now that you all have heard about the problem, the causes, and the solutions, let's conclude. To recap, I discussed how the affordable housing crisis creates an instability for working families. Then I mentioned that rising housing costs, slow wage growth, and restrictive land policies help us cause this problem. Finally, I talked about solutions such as building more affordable housing, expanding support, and encouraging community actions. After listening to my speech, I hope you all are aware why we should be supporting more affordable housing to help working families and reduce homelessness. Housing should not be treated like an impossible dream for the working family, because every person deserves the chance to live in a safe and stable and affordable home. So thank you for your time, and that's it.